discussees.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
Hello, good evening, it's Dave Dawn. It's not Marco Van Basten tonight, it's me, it's Dave, on me Todd for the Haze Hour tonight, been on me Todd twice now this year. But it's getting near the end of the year, so it doesn't really matter. Sorry, is it a little bit hazy in here for you? This is what it was like on Saturday gone. We're going to have a canny show tonight. I'm quite looking forward to this because I've got a very good piece of video. Well, I think it's well, Kat said it was very good. So therefore, we have to assume that it was, in fact, very good. Video of the NEES meet, at which many people were there. Where are you? I'd be tweeting everybody now to come and watch it. They're going to love this because they'll see all kinds of stuff that they haven't seen before, including a sober Dave Dawn, which doesn't happen very often. Hang on, I've got to drop my glasses and do that. What's this? Somebody's on the naughty step. Yes. Anyway, this, yes. Hi DD, hi Kizzy. Yes. There's people, if you don't know, hang on, go to that shot, David. Down there is where chat is, miles away from me. Yes. So what I do is I make the text bigger so I can read it. You see, I can read what's happening and all the technology and it's all that kind of stuff over there. Anyway, yes, bottom line on it is, where was it? Tonight, I want to run over this advertising thing again because I think everybody's being mugged, frankly. That's what I think. I think everybody's being mugged and I think it was dastardly. And I'll tell you why I think everybody's being mugged and I'm going to need chat's help for that. So we may want to remember that we have hashtag Haze Hour, and if you're not sure how that works, it's there. You tweet and you use the hashtag Haze Hour with two capital H's. Haze Hour. Tweet with that and I'll pick them up, assuming everything's working, so that you can tell us what you know and what you don't know and ask any questions, make any comments. That's how we roll around here. It's dead easy. So hashtag Haze Hour if you want to get in touch with the Twitter. I'll be doing my best to read chat, but you might say I've got the black rim glasses on. That means I cannot see that far. I've got to look over the top like that, and that just, I don't know, doesn't look that stupid, does it? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So we're going to do that. Here's how we're going to talk a little bit about the advertising, and then anybody that knows me knows every time anybody gives me a drip of the drip, I end up with juice all over everywhere. Mostly all over me, but generally speaking all over everywhere else as well. But I has got 2 drippers and a machine upon which to use them, which I got on Saturday from Soul Vapor Baby, Nigel. And Nigel's got information which is in tonight's featured video that is going to make you go, oh, because it made me go, oh. And that'll all be coming up after the titles, which are coming up now. If I can only remember where I've put them. There they are. So I'll be back in a minute. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Haze Hour. Yes, Saturday was the NEES meet. Now, I love the idea of these meets happening here, there and everywhere. It's great when people can get together and just have a natter in comfortable surroundings and kick back, relax and enjoy themselves. So for those of you that couldn't make it and those of you that did, we shot some video, and I'm going to say Chris Dyson, who is putting together what looks as though it's going to be a very good documentary, quite short but very good, was doing filming there, and I've seen some of the rough cuts, and he also was good enough to follow me around with a camera and make me look, I think, extremely handsome. But then I didn't have my glasses on when I was doing the edit, so I don't know, I could be wrong. So I want to say a big thank you to Chris Dyson for doing that. I need also to say thank you to GoPro for providing a camera that can do time-lapse. I think you might enjoy this. Sit back and relax as we go to South Shields for the NEES meet the NAS Hinny Young'un How. November the 8th in South Shields, a queer place up in the northeast of England, right by the seaside with piers, and here the New Crown Inn, which is where the NEES meet is actually happening. Follow me and we'll see what's going on as we wander in. And the minute you get through the door, you see vapors gathered together, showing each other what they've got. Look at this, vapour everywhere you look. Have you ever seen a pub look quite this packed with people absolutely enjoying themselves? This is what the NEES meets are all about, and these are happening all over the country, and I'm going to talk to a fair few folks in here to find out where they started, what they're doing, and how things are going for them now. It's all good. I love a NEES meet, me. Right, Nigel.
Yes,
How far have you travelled to be here today?
from Sheffield.
Sheffield, that's
Yeah.
where my wife's from.
Sheffield. Well,
So it's obvious good things come out of Sheffield.
yeah.
Now, you are renowned as a modder. It's true to say.
Well, I wouldn't say renowned. I've been doing it for a year. I enjoy it. People like my mods, so I just keep making them. If people didn't like them, then I wouldn't do it. But
Well, you are quite on the cutting edge, because for the first time I'm seeing a DNA 40 mod today, and you've got it with you, haven't you?
yeah,
And this is beast here,
this is the
flask mod. isn't it?
flask. Yeah, it's a DNA 40. But the nice thing about the 40 is it's got the temperature control. So what that does is it controls the amount of temperature that goes to your coil instead of just power.
Yes.
So it's not burning the juice like your typical mod would, which produces a really nice vapor. A lot of thought's gone into it, especially with the different wire as well. The non-resistance nickel, which everybody used to use for GG mods and stuff like that. But the flavour and the vapor and the continuity of it is next to none at the minute.
I tried it earlier, and I've got to say, it is probably the smoothest vape I've ever had. What's that on top of it now?
That's the V3 Mister. So it's a juice control atomizer. It's got this is the funny thing now, it's got a 0.16 ohm coil in it.
0.16
Yeah.
ohms.
No.
Not 1.6.
No,
0.16 ohms.
So, I mean, vapor production is good. Straight away.
Yes.
Flavours there straight away. But there's no burning. So, whatever your juice maker's producing, you're getting what the flavour straight away. So, I mean, I've got banana in this, and it's just like the little banana sweets you used to get when you were a kid.
Oh, we can't have banana sweets when you were a kid. We have to think of the children.
Children.
Oh, little buggers. Do you mind if I have a quick blast
No,
on it?
please do.
Because I find this fascinating. I think most people know I like it quite hot.
And there is custard in there.
There is there? Wish me luck. Here we go. That is so smooth.
Yeah.
Not at all hot. There's no evidence.
It's not like you're building a sub-ohm coil and you're doing big clouds with it.
No.
It's not about that at all.
That
was quite difficult to build that coil that high with the wire that I was getting, which is 28 gauge nickel.
right.
But it's not your standard nickel, so don't just go buy nickel and try and wire it up. You have to buy NI 200 nickel.
The right stuff.
And at the minute, a lot of vendors don't have it, but they will have it in very soon.
Well, I've got to say I can't wait to try one of these in anger over an extended period, because just on what I've tried today, that is really nice. And it's not too hot either. No, I like that. I like that.
And the nice thing about the DNA, with the 40 as well, if you don't have nickel, you can run it on Canthal. You just turn the temperature off.
Yes.
So you get the best of both. So if you've got an atomizer that's got Canthal in it and you put it on this, it'll straight away say, is this a new atomizer? And you say yes, and then it'll go back to watts.
Excellent.
So a lot of thought's gone into the mod and the technology behind the chip. So they're going with the current affairs. So they're looking at carcinogenics and things that get released when your coil burns juice at certain temperatures. So I mean, at the minute I'm enjoying it.
How soon do you think before we see lots and lots of them on the market?
Well, at the minute there is. I think Hannah's got a chip out with it in vape flask, but it'll be your modders as well. Your modders will be making chips. Well, the boxes with them in very soon.
Excellent.
They're out, they're available. It's just a matter of trying to get your hands on one.
Well, from my perspective, as I say, trying that is quite the smoothest I've ever tasted. That's really good.
I'm not going over the top with the watts. I'm still using watts at 13, but I've got my temperature set to 470 Fahrenheit, so it's in American. But you'll find your sweet spot like everything else, and you'll just stick to it.
Yes.
I don't go high watts, so I'm never going over 14, 15 watts, which suits me fine.
Yeah.
But it's a very, very cool vape. And after a couple of weeks, you can still, open it up and your cotton's not burnt. You can dry fire this with cotton in and it won't burn it because of the way that it controls the temperature going to the coil.
See, that's got to be good, hasn't it?
Now, if you took a normal mod and fired it with Canthal, it'll just burn it straight away if it was dry, and then you get that horrible taste where you could run this quite dry and you'd still be all right.
Yeah. That's got to be a good thing. No dry burns.
No dry burns.
No dry burns. Yeah. I like that. I like that idea.
Anything that burns is wrong.
Well, this is true, even including paper tubes. And we'll leave that one there. Nigel, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, man.
Thank you.
Here at the NEES meet with Daz. It's Daz! VTTV, Daz off VTTV from Vapor Trails TV as well, and all and stuff like that. Now, you've taken over the running of the NEES meet.
Yes.
From, because I couldn't be asked.
Yes.
That was about the size of it, wasn't it?
More or less.
And we've settled here on the new Crown Inn after we got boosted out of that. I'm going to call it a shithole down the road.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not language we would normally use, but we'll say it together. It was a shithole. So the new Crown. Look at all these numbers. You have got to be pleased.
I am. I'm absolutely ecstatic. Actually, it never fails to be a good turnout. I always remember like the first one, we'll always have like good numbers in the region of like between like on a daily throughout the day, it's in the region of like 60 to 70 people. And what makes us more excited is the new faces.
Yes.
It's the new ones that add to it, who are coming in with the egos and stuff like that, and it's like fresh meat, you know, so to speak. And it's so great because like all the Webers are automatically now so welcoming that they just take them automatically under the wing, which takes the relief off me a bit, because when I come in, everybody's like, oh, what are you doing in this and the other, doing all that catch-up. And when you see like all the setups and that are coming, you know, like the people bringing in the new stuff, it's amazing. It's amazing, and it never ever ceases to amaze me how much it keeps evolving year in year out.
Yes.
And even like on NEES meets in the NEES meets out, I mean, this is what was second NEES meet this year.
I think it's the second one this year, yes.
And even by having the two, we're kind of behind on that evolvement, because it's kind of like 3 times as much has come out since then. So it's even more amazing.
And there's people travelled from Sheffield,
Yeah.
from London, from
Yeah.
Barnsley. They're coming from all over
They do,
the place.
they do.
It's got to thrill you.
It does, it really does, and I cannot say how much I appreciate it each and every time. And you know, they're arranging like meals out like afterwards, and you know, there's local meets set up as a result of the NEES meet now. There's at least 1-2 meets like locally a month.
Yes.
And it's really starting to like pick up nationwide, which is what we want. But I love that we still have the NEES, because it's not a monthly thing, it's a quarterly thing, and it's just right because it gets all the people coming. And you know, we've had people from abroad before, and I know that people will come from abroad again. It does get that big and popular, and it thrills me to bits.
Now, here's the big question for other people that are thinking about organising similar things. How hard is it to get the venue to agree to us coming?
Not as hard as what it used to be, because e-cigs now are much more known, so we haven't got as much of a battle. But the thing being is, and the key thing is perseverance. So if you have like a venue in mind and they're not as forthcoming, see if you can arrange a meeting with them and tell them about it, to see if you can put the mind at rest. If not, then look at other venues. There is going to be a venue out there that's going to be more than welcoming. Let's not forget that the pub industry was a dying industry. On average, about 14 pubs a week were closing. That's probably plateaued now. It's probably leveled out. So the pubs are now going to be much more welcoming than what they were before.
Well, you've just got to look at the numbers that are in here, and what the spend is likely to be.
Yeah, definitely.
And the spend in here today is going to be in thousands.
Exactly. And I think it's important to say that, you know, given in this current, like, well, I was going to say the current economy, even though apparently the economy is fine now, but in this current day and age is that businesses cannot afford to turn away trade. You know, and vapers spend money, and they spend lots of money. And I think that more and more businesses are realising that, because of the more shops and websites and that's coming in on a weekly, monthly basis. I mean, there's new vendor shops coming up all the time. You know, so it's not something now really that they want to turn away. So the best advice that I could say is persevere, make sure that you educate them, just make sure that you do the job, and that you're well organised. And the most important thing is have fun, let them see that you're having a good time, and they will have you back time and time again. And make sure that you keep your nose clean and keep out of trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Daz, thanks very much for your time, Bonnie lad, and congratulations on a hell of a turnout today. Thanks, Daz.
Thanks a lot.
See you later.
Thanks.
Cheers. So, yes, Miles Dolphin, you've travelled how far to be here today?
7.5 hours.
That's a long way to come. Just so everybody knows, what actually got you into e-cigs in the first place?
I was bullied into it.
By whom?
My wife.
And why was that?
She didn't like the smell of me when I was smoking.
The smell of you or the cigarettes?
Me.
So how long ago? How long have you been using e-cigs?
2.5 years now.
Okay. And you've got quite a sizable device in your hand there now. Which one's that?
This is the E-Huge.
And it is huge as well. That's 26650 battery.
That's right.
And what device have you got on the top?
I can't remember.
Oh, it's a Kanga.
Yeah.
Kanga Aero tank.
Yeah.
And that satisfies your needs and wants?
Most of the time, but not all the time. That's why I have others here.
Have you ever been tempted to go back to cigarettes?
Yes.
And did you succumb to temptation?
Not on a regular basis.
So are you now completely switched?
No.
Okay.
I still have the occasional one, but no, 3 or 4 a day instead of 40 or 50.
I think that's a dividend for your health, don't you?
Yes, definitely.
That's all you need to know, isn't it? Miles Dolphin, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave.
Cut. Right, so this is a DNA 40, and if we look at the display, we can see that it's set to 480 degrees, and the wattage is varying. But if we look at the cotton, that's firing up, and that's getting the temperature. And look, it's not even scorching it, and that is dry cotton. There's not a scrap of liquid on there. That's fantastic. So we're here at the new Crown Inn with Mark Sloran. We've known each other for what? How long now?
For a good 3, 4, 4.5 years, if not more.
It's getting on for that, isn't it? But you were now a vendor.
Yeah.
But had no intention to be, from what I remember.
No, not at all. I mean, it was a dream of mine, being a vape, have a vape shop. But I was kind of pushed into it, being made redundant from the council after 22 years service. So I thought, rather than become an employee again and have a boss, I'd be my own boss.
Right. So started up the vape shop.
Yeah.
And it's a bricks and mortar shop, isn't
Yeah,
it?
bricks and mortar. Yeah.
Started from scratch.
Yeah, from scratch. Yeah. Totally from scratch.
And what kind of customers are you getting in then? Are they all beginners, or where are we at?
Yeah, but 90% of my customers are new starters, who are switching from, lit tobacco, wanting to become tobacco abstinent.
Right.
And, most of them already know about the care now. You're not getting many. Like if you went back 18 months ago, you would have to explain a lot more about it. But with vaping being more prevalent these days, the starter kits practically sell themselves.
So what kind of questions do they ask you when they come in then?
Are they safe? What's in them? Are they easy to use?
Right.
And most of those are quite self-explanatory, especially with all of the the science that's been put into it.
Yeah. And what's the most popular sort of device then that the newbies are starting?
Yeah, the newbies are just basically Ego battery, CE4, clearomizer. Yeah.
But refillable?
Yeah, refillable, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Gen 2, basically.
And are people confused about how to refill, or...?
Once you explain it to them, it's pretty straightforward, and they go away happy. And there's not many people who have been back in asking, further questions. They seem to get on with it straight away.
Right. Do many move on up to Gen 3 stuff?
I haven't noticed many moving on to Gen 3, but quite a few are coming back in and saying what's the next best battery, and they're moving up onto vision spinners and variable voltage.
Right.
And then they're also moving on from like disposable clearomizers onto CE5s and bottom fillers, and the pro tanks and what, like with the replaceable coils.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's the most popular replaceable coil one? Because I know there's a fight between the Kanga fans and the
Well,
Aspire
I'm
fans.
an Aspire fan basically,
Right.
you know, and it is mostly Aspire that I stock.
Right.
I keep the Kanga coils in, for the Kanga people, but most of the ones that I sell is the Aspires.
So there's no fights in the shop then?
No
Everybody
fights in the
can
shops.
get
Aye, yeah, they can. Aye.
Right, I've got to ask you this because
Yeah.
it's always an amazement to me.
Yeah.
What's the most popular juice? The most popular flavour?
Menthol.
Menthol?
Yeah, in my shop, menthol.
Are they mad?
No, but menthol. I can't keep it on the shelf. That and like anise flavours, aniseed flavours.
Really?
Yeah.
Not Hawaii 4?
Not Hawaii 4, no.
I'm going to
no.
cry. Oh, it's
Aye.
terrible.
No ethyl malt neither.
No ethyl. Oh, dear me. I would never have thought it would have been menthol.
Aye,
That's
yeah.
just mental.
Aye.
Good Lord above. Well, I'm going to wish you the best of luck with it, and I
Aye,
hope it
thank you
goes
very
from
much.
strength to strength.
Yeah, aye,
Because
will do.
if anybody deserves it,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
Well done.
Cheers, thanks, Dave.
Thanks for your
Thank you.
time.
You're
Cheers.
welcome.
Yes, so there you were. That was the NEES meet. I've just looked at the time. We're going to take a quick ad break. When we get back, I'm going to hit some of the Twitter. But to very, very quickly get to who was it? Gordon Allen Beard. Could I possibly give a link to Nigel, Twitter name or whatever? He's in chat now. Soul Vapor Baby. Soul Vapor Baby. That's Nigel, and he's in chat right at this very minute. We'll be back straight after the adverts. Do not go anywhere.
Safersix.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
Vapors, do you love discovering new e-liquids? Tell Dripper the types of flavours you like and they'll send you 5 gourmet juices each month. Experience new and exclusive flavours, all with a money-back guarantee and free delivery anywhere in Europe. Dripper.co.uk.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.
Safersix.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
And we're back live in the room. Time for... Yes, I forgot to press the right number. I will get used to this one day. It's something I need to talk to the developers about. Right, yes, let's start with just 2109 who said, "Here's how without Keith. Sacrilege, but safe for me mods." No, he can't be with us. I miss him. I do. I miss him. And as we were going through the video there, I'm reading it on screen here. It says, "Watch out, DV!" from Very Boring. "I think there's a rat sitting on your ice cream cone." It's a dead cat on the microphone to stop the wind. What we got here? From Vaporino Mail. "Get watching folks live now. It's a good one tonight." There you are. See, it's all about. Thank you for that. Thank you for letting everybody know. It's all good stuff. And from Vaporino Mail as well, "Loving that DNA 40. You've got every right to." I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Davey Malik that is, has said, "I need that vape flask." You definitely do, Bonnie lad. And Very Boring. "Predator Daz hunts fresh meat." There you are, Daz. That'll lad you. Gordon Allen Beard. "The Haze Hour. The future looks good." It certainly does. It looks bright. It looks remarkable, in fact. And Davey M10, Davey Malik, is going to do his best to get to the next NEES meet, and the Fury is planning on taking Fury Fest on tour around the country, ending at NEES. At the NEES, that's going to be fabulous as well. That would be lovely. Gordon Allen Beard said, "If possible, can you give a link to Nigel, Twitter name or whatever?" Soul Vapor Baby. That's the one you're looking for. Soul Vapor Baby. And as modders go, he's a damn good one. He definitely is, without any shadow of a doubt. Vaporino Mail has already said, "This is progress before our very eyes." He's obviously as impressed by the DNA 40 as I was, and indeed am. And indeed, I is going to be getting myself one. That's all we've got from Twitter for the time being. But isn't this marvellous the way things are going? Now, while we were at the NEES meet on Saturday, you might have noticed that big red arrow thing going in the video saying Dave's been dripping. Well, yes, I have been dripping. But anybody that knows me will tell you I am utterly rubbish at dripping. Have been for donkey's ages. But I picked up a couple of dripping atomizers. One arrived on Friday, and I got one on Saturday at the NEES meet of Chris from Durham, who was sat in the corner. And I think Marco Van Basten will be interviewing him and showing you that video on Thursday when he brings you Vapor Scene on Thursday night, because it's on Thursday and not tonight, because tonight's Tuesday and I'm Dave and this is the Haze Hour. But on Thursday it'll be Marco and it'll be Vapor Scene, and he too has got shed loads of footage from the NEES meet, but it's different to the footage that I've got because we're different people and we had two different cameras, and you'll see, it's all good. I'm looking for, well, I'll try and watch it on the train on the way home on Thursday night. But that brings me to the point, you see. On Thursday, the reason we're on tonight rather than on Thursday is because Thursday is the e-cig summit, to which I am going. To the e-cig summit. I'll blank that out now. Yes, I'm going to go down to the e-cig summit because I want to have a little bit of a natter with a few people down there, because I think the world and his wife in the UK got mugged yesterday. That's what I think, and I shall tell you for why I think it as well. Let's do an auto cut. Yeah. I'll tell you for why I think it. Well, I'll show you for why I think it. A press release went out from VIP's PR people, and the language in it was not language that you would expect a vape company to be using. The headline was along the lines of "A smoking advert on telly for the first time in 30 years. Which makes you think a little bit, because vaping isn't smoking. And it went on to kind of say, you know, it's been 40, 50 years, however long it is, since 1965, since a smoking advertisement was seen on UK television, whether it been blah, 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 and all of this kind of stuff. Which naturally is going to make any editor's eyes go, "Oh, controversy, we like that, sells papers, and it'll make people tune in, and this will all be good, and we can slag somebody off." It's excellent stuff, because that's the standard of journalism these days, apparently. In the body of this email press release that went out was a link to a variety of Dropbox or Google Drive. It's one of those kind of services where files can be uploaded and made available to other people. And there were 3 files in there, and what I would like to do, with your indulgence, is play the 3 of them in. And what I'm going to do, I think, is do the 10-second one first, then the 20-second one, and then the 30-second one. Now, as I play them in, if you're in chat or if you're on Twitter, would you please type in, I saw that one in Grantchester? That's what I need you to do, if you would please, because what I'm trying to get to the bottom of is which adverts were played out, because I get the feeling that one of them wasn't, and I get the feeling that the one that wasn't was the one that everybody was getting up in arms about, or possibly the one that was done in November 2013. So here's the 10-second one. Please let me know if you saw this one in Grantchester.
The great taste of VIP, e-cigarettes and e-liquids. VIP.
Now that was the first one, that was the 10-second one, and how anybody can have any objection to that and call it sexualisation of e-cigs or glamorisation of e-cigs or anything like that, that is beyond me. That was the 10-second one. Coming up now is the 20-second one. So if you saw the 10-second one during Grantchester, can you type into chat or into Twitter, I saw the 10-second one in Grantchester? Thank you very much. Here is the 20-second one coming up.
Find out why 89% of our consumers said they prefer VIP over other brands. VIP e-cigarettes and e-liquids, quality assured since 2009. VIP.
That was the 20-second one. My feeling is that those are the two that were played out, and thank you to Vape Me Stupid on Twitter for pretty much confirming that. I think those are the two that were played out during Grantchester. But if you saw that one during Grantchester, would you please type into chat or into Twitter, I saw the 20-second one in Grantchester. That was last night. And then we've got some idea of what's going on. And I'm just going to have a quick check at what Twitter's bringing in at the minute, and it's not. So let's refresh. Refresh. No, it's not getting it. I'm not seeing it. And I'm looking at it. In chat. No, nothing there. Right, this is the 30-second one coming up, and this is the one that there might have been a few issues about. Let's play this one in and tell me whether you saw this one on the telly, please.
You know that feeling you get when something's great? You can touch it, hold it, even see it. Well, now you can taste it.
So why not feel, hold, and see our exclusive range of tank accessories. The great taste of VIP, e-cigarettes and e-liquids. VIP.
That's it. That's the three. That's the sum total. And I'm just watching this, and Sig's gone has said he saw the 20-second one. That I kind of think would be the case, and I think the 10-second one might have been played, but I'm just waiting to see whether the 30-second one was played, and the question is, was it or not? Let's see if we can get anything in from Twitter. No, we have nothing from Twitter, and looking into chat, no. Right, now then, let's just play that 30-second one again, because I honestly think if there's going to be any issue, that would be the one that there would be issue with, because it's the only one that's even slightly sexualized. But watch it again and tell me, is it any worse than any other advert you've ever seen? The 30-second one, possibly the worst of the lot.
You know that feeling you get when something's great? You can touch it, hold it, even see it. Well, now you can taste it.
So why not feel, hold, and see our exclusive range of tank accessories. The great taste of VIP, e-cigarettes and e-liquids. VIP.
Now, I'm reading what's going in chat. If that advert with a hand sliding over a hip can be considered to be semi-pornographic, then I am really, really sorry for people who are public health grandees who find that objectionable. They need to go out and get themselves a life. They really, honestly do. There was nothing wrong with that. I have the feeling that if they've tried to access the advert on their iPads or their iPhones or their other tablets and phablets and various things, I had issues with that when I tried doing it on tablets and on mobiles. I had to go to a desktop to do it. And if these grandees are mobile and hurtling around the place, or if they've been pointed at the VIP adverts that are sitting online, you know, the blowjob one, then yes, they probably would get out of order about it all. But the one thing that really got to me more than anything else was a quote from Deborah Arnott of Ash. Now, Deborah has been known to talk sense about e-cigs. She has been known to. But she came out with one of the stupidest things I've ever heard, because I've read the Ash submission and various other submissions about what could, or what they thought could and could not be said in adverts. And they were very, very, very strongly against anybody saying that they were safer than cigarettes, that they were more effective than cigarettes, or that they were safe enough and effective enough to help people pack in smoking lit tobacco or even make the switch. They really didn't want that said, because that apparently is a medicinal claim and therefore things would need a marketing authorization. And yet she went onto both Sky and the Beeb and ITV and everywhere else and said, if they would only say that they're safer than cigarettes and that they're effective and all that. And I'm sitting there going, but you said they couldn't. That's implicit in the CAP guidelines. People can't say that. I sometimes wonder what these people are actually on. I'm going to go up the adverts. I need a drink and a vape. Honestly, it does make you wonder sometimes, doesn't it? They tell you can do one thing and then tell you can't do another, and then complain when you don't do the other. Back in 2.5 minutes. If I was you, I'd have some 45mg and a stiff whiskey. A sexy stiff whiskey. Why did you fall over that, David? Back in 2.
Safercigs.co.uk sponsors of the Haze Hour.
LP Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and e-liquids. Proud sponsors of vaping entertainment on Vapor Trails TV.
RY4 Radio.
discussees.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
And we're back in the room. It's a slightly hazy room. I needed a good vape. Gets you like that sometimes. There's been some response from Twitter and response in chat. Let's go to the live tweets. I'm sorry, I'm going to do that every time till I realise what I need to do. Let's start with Very Boring's tweet, who says, if people think any of those were semi-porn, they must be excited by plain bricks too. Yes. Well, to put it another way, I wouldn't. Davey M says, there was a perfume ad where an actress was stripping. Also an ad now showing a couple who've just had sex trying to do something. I can't read what the rest of that says. Oh, God only knows what they were selling. And the next one, you should see some of the ones in Holland, says Eric M. Stone. They could even show the forbidden one for any product, by the way. I've also, I have to say, seen French adverts where basically anything goes. They can show anything they like. We live in a prudish nation over here. We really do. So, yes. And I have seen as well, our chat has been mentioning the Kick advert. And to be fair, I need to play that in. This one, I think, was very well done. Enjoy.
I used to smoke normal cigarettes, but after I quit, I tried these. I actually prefer them.
The first thing my husband said was that my clothes don't smell smoke anymore.
Easy to refill, easy to use.
Lots of different flavours to choose from. I'll never try them all.
The battery lasts a lot longer than my old e-cigarettes.
Juicy peach, that's my favourite.
This week.
20% off your first order online at kik.co.uk.
That's it. That's it. Oops. Echo. Yes. Listen, any of those four that I've played out tonight, as far as I'm concerned, they're all good. I mean, I'm sure people will object to a semi-gorgeous young lady blowing a little bit of vapour out. Not very well, it has to be said. But let's face it, come on. Although Mazarnot said in the show with Lorien, where the two of them were having a conversation, that every smoker was aware that e-cigs were around because 50% of them had tried them. Yeah, funny that every smoker throughout the UK and probably certainly all over the first world is aware that NRT exists, and yet they say it can take 5, 6, 7 or 8 goes with NRT before it's successful for you, and they keep advertising that. Surely they should stop advertising NRT if they're not happy about the e-cig ads. I'll be having a few words with a few people on Thursday down at the e-cig summit. That's why I think it's quite important I go, because I want to know what they really think, and I want to have a few words in a few ears and just let them know that I think they're being prudish, puritanical numpties. That is the only word for it. I think the CAP guidelines are pretty fair given where we are with the state of knowledge and everything else. I think they are pretty fair. I think they are making sure that under 18s are not attracted by them. I think they are making sure that non-smokers are unlikely to be attracted by e-cigs, and I think they're sticking to this, you know, let's not be over the top about it all. I think it's quite sensible, and I think it's very disingenuous of these grandees of public health to get on their hind legs and on the bandwagon and start tub thumping about how it's all wrong. Look, listen, if you're a grandee in public health, you had your say, the decision was made, live with it, because that's the way it is. End of. Yeah, let's do something a bit nicer, shall we? Let's talk about dripping and blowing great big clouds. Like I say, on Saturday I got this. Close up your cam. Close up 2 coming up, so I know it's centred. There it is. Get the mouse out of the way, David, because that makes it look as though you don't know what you're doing. This is a Vulcan, it says here. Let's go close up on it. Whoops. There it is. I'll take it off the device I'm using it on, which is one of Nigel's DNA 30 mods. The last one was a copper one. This one's this glorious red, and I'm going to show you the insides of it. That's why there's no screws on for the minute. I took them off, but this is a Vulcan. Now look, I'm not a dripper, I'm not a cloud chaser particularly. I have no idea whether this is good, bad or indifferent, but it's very simple. There it is. 3 poles. Get it in the right place, David. 3 poles, dual coil, cotton, as easy as that, and there's room to get probably, oh I don't know, 2 or 3 mils of juice in that well, so you can just fill it up, and you know when it's not going to be working. You'd know even better if it was on a DNA 40, of course, because you just wouldn't get any vapour out of it. Usual standard of the top cap comes off, so you can I really am sorry. The top cap comes off like that, so you can drip into it. There you go. I think these are available on Fastech as well as anywhere else. I'm not aware that it's a clone or anything like that, but I don't know a great deal about it. But you can see how it all goes together. Thinned top, so that there's no heat gets up to your mouth, and it actually seems to work quite well. And I've been using this on this, the DNA 30 mod that Soul Vapor Baby, Nigel from Sheffield, and good stuff comes out of Sheffield. This is what he makes. And if you look at this, let's try and, I better go to the wider cam because it's a bit bigger. If we look round it, look at that as in the way of a top cap. This is a very, very good top cap. Lovely big air holes. It's got proper, I will go in close on that. Let's hope it focuses. Look at that. You can see how nicely that is solid. That is built like the archetypal brick outhouse, that is. I've not played with it an awful lot, but I don't know whether this screws off. I'm not even going to go there. The button, I'm sure we all recognise. Very nice, positive button. And again, the uppy downy buttons, as you would expect, and the USB charge socket, which I like. But what I wanted you to have a look at was the inside of it. And let me put it that way up and tip it up a bit so you can see. Look how neat that is. Look how well built that is. And if I get it in the right position, you'll see that the switch is a 16 volt 50 milliamp switch, even though it doesn't need to be. That is, it's nicely potted, it's nicely put together, and the battery is removable. It's in a holder, and it's an LG battery, and that is one of the good ones as well. It's a cracking piece of kit. I've been using it, as I say, since Saturday. I got the whole lot on Saturday, and I've been having a little bit of a play with it. I'm going to stick it back together and shove a couple of bolts back in. It comes all powder coated, and this one, I'm told, Nigel powder coated himself. And yes, thank you for that, Nigel. I really do appreciate it. And I know actually Miles Dolphin bought one of these as well on Saturday off Nigel. And yeah, it's rather pleasant. DNA 30 chip inside. And obviously he's going to be able to sort the DNA 40 stuff out as well. I did see in chat that there were a couple of points made that the DNA 40 might not be 100% yet. That's been the case, but now all of the DNA 40s come out have had the fault rectified, and the ones that had the fault have been recalled. They've all gone back to Evolve, and Evolve is busily sorting all of that out, as I would expect from them. Now, I should also point out, it is my aim, because this has been requested by a few people, to get Brandon Ward to come onto the show to talk about the DNA 40 and explain how it all goes together. As I understand it, there's going to be a centigrade version, so those of us that have converted fully, we're fully switched from Fahrenheit to centigrade, or as Nigel put it, from American to European. From American temperatures to European temperatures. Basically, European temperatures are colder. Yeah, so I'm going to try and get hold of Brandon and get him to come on the show and you know, talk us through the whole thing and take any questions that anybody might have. I've got to say about the DNA 40, I really am impressed, and I can see a very good future for them in all sorts of ways. There is a particular scenario that worries me, but I don't want to vocalize that one yet. I want to see how the market goes for these things. But my feeling is, if the DNA 40 technology is as good as I felt it to be on Saturday, I'm going to be pretty much standardizing on that, because if you think about it, Dr. Farsalinos is on the route to working out what can happen when you get too hot. With the DNA 40, you're not going to get too hot. That could sort out a hell of a lot of the challenges that we've been experiencing in various different places. Now, this dripping. It's a dripping atomizer. It's called, as I say, a Vulcan. VULCAN. It's in gold. It's on top of the DNA 30. I am running at, press the button and see. It says check battery. Yes, there we are. Right, let's just so you know, go closely up you can, and then you can see I'm running this at 26.4 watts. It's 2.8 ohms. Is that so? That's two quite hefty coils that I've got in there. And just to check, that'll be running it up at 7.5 volts. I do believe that's how the cloud chasers do it, isn't it? So I thought I would give it a blast and see what it's like. Here we go. Does that qualify? 36 milligram juice, by the way. That camera's 8 foot away from us. Yes. I don't know. Is that any good or not? It's a very nice draw on this. The air holes are very nice on it. I really do like it. What's this? Who's getting slapped? Gadgets and Wheels says he feels like he's spying. Gadgets and Wheels, by the way, is Chris Dyson. If you're in chat live, that's Chris Dyson that's got this this new documentary coming out, and the guy that did the filming with me at the NEES meet, cracking lad. I know a few of you will be aware of him, and he's doing a damn good job. I've seen a rough cut, and I'm quite impressed by what I've seen. I think it'll be very, very good. We will be showing you it on vaportrails.tv, probably on the Haze Hour, and it's going to be worth a watch. Yeah, this dripping lock, am I going to get into it or am I not? I don't know. I need to consider what's coming up and decide whether I'll be doing anything like that. This is what will be tickling your taste buds over the next 7 days. Yes, that's what's coming up over the next week. Tune in, chill out, vape out, or be an oblate spheroid. Right, as I said, on Thursday I'm hurtling off down to the e-cigs summit. I've been asked, as I did last year, to do a demonstration table. I'm going to be taking only mainstream stuff. I'm not going to take any drippers down. I'm not going to be blowing any clouds. I'm not going to be doing anything stupid. I'm going to try and present e-cigs in the best possible light. I'm going to be taking e-leaf eye sticks. I'm going to be taking mostly power controlled mods. There'll be one or two mechanical mods there as well, just to show the quality of stuff that gets built. I'll take a couple of rebuildable atomizers and stuff like that, but it'll be mostly mainstream. We'll have generation 2, generation 3 for the most part, 1 or 2 bits of generation 1, and it is my intention, if I am asked to explain things, to try and represent you, the vaping community, to the best of my ability, alongside other vapors that are there to do exactly that. I think we are part of one of the strongest communities on the planet. I think people of a like mind when it comes down to the freedom to inhale whatever substance you feel like inhaling. And And yeah, I know, sometimes I go over the top and stuff like that, but seriously, this is a serious fight. So I'm hurting enough down there to do that. And then on Friday, if you're in Ireland, get to Dublin for Vape Fest Ireland, because I'm going to be there for that as well, and I want to meet lots and lots and lots of Irish people. It's going to be good, and I'm going to try and drink the place dry of Guinness, because that's what Geordie lads and Mackham lads are supposed to do. So I will. And I'm looking at the clock and I see that it's 10 o'clock and Savvy's bouncing up and down in our Skype chat saying, "Ho, get off, you're out of time." So I'm going to try and keep it to time. It's been a massive pleasure to have spent the last hour in your company. I really do hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have, tell your friends. If you haven't, please tell us and then we can put it right. Until I see you next time, don't forget, vape on! Vape hard, and don't let the bastards grind you down. Until I see you next time, take care of each other, be good, and if you can't be good, be careful, but be as sexy as you like. Bye bye.
Safer Cigs, sponsors of the Haze Hour. safercigs.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.